Today I had another topic which I wanted to talk to you about, and which is in my head for a long time now. Like, I mean, I touch it every now and then on social media because there's a lot of questions about it in general, and it's breathing. And there are two sides of the topic. I don't know whether we can cover both at the moment, or maybe we do two calls out of it. One is breathing, and one is the breathing pattern. And I don't know. Let's jump into the breathing. I think there is a lot of confusion. Um, I guess you have the same situation that I have, that you've done it. Like, you grew up with swimming, so you never really faced the problem with breathing as such. You never really faced this kind of an issue. But did you also have, or do you recollect when you found out? Yes, I can do the breathing properly, or how was it for you?
No, I mean, man, like I've been swimming literally since probably I was born, actually.
Yeah.
It's no, I can't remember, because I went straight into lessons and I've just been swimming all the life, so I don't have that problem. But given the fact that I've been in the coaching and been involved in coaching for nearly 20 years now, you see the issue of breathing all the time. And you said we're going to talk about patterns later, but people are just scared about getting water in their mouth.
Mm.
And that's the main problem. So when they're swimming, we're talking about swimming front crawl style here.
Yeah.
And it's the nervousness of getting a mouthful of water. That's the main issue. So what happens there is they just over rotate and they turn their head totally out of the water, almost looking up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And we've talked about body alignment and rotating on the central axis and stuff like that in previous Let's Talk Swimming meetups that we've had, and it just has big implications. So can you recall ever having issues, or is it, you've been swimming all your life as well, right?
Yeah. No, I've been swimming all my life. My mom usually said I could swim before I could walk, and usually comes from there. This is what I usually say. No, I don't remember it. At some point, it just like it worked, and I never really remember. I don't even remember that I had a problem about breathing as such. And then when I think about it, I need to do it. I need to think about it, that I realize, oh yeah, I'm doing it right. So it's not really something there. But usually the problem with people is that they hold their breath as soon as the head goes underneath the water. As soon as your nose fills up with water, you stop breathing, like you hold on your breath. And I'm saying this because a lot of people don't have problem when they go like just straight down. So they go on the side of the pool and then they breathe in, and then when they go down, they breathe out underneath the water. When they go straight down, they have no problem. But as soon as they go into the vertical position of freestyle swimming, as soon as they go vertical and their nose fills up with water, as soon as they turn their head back into the water or they push off, there's nothing happening. And then this is usually for me the thing which I explain and people then get it. I don't know how you explain it, or have you come across questions like that?
Yeah, I mean, some people, when they're first starting out, coming into master swimming, or some triathletes that want a little bit of extra swim advice, a lot of them will hold their breath when they're swimming forward. So they'll take a big gulp of breath, and again, breathing far too far around. Then they'll hold their breath, and then they'll do one quick big full exhale, and then take a big breath in and do it that way. And for us, we don't even think about it, right? We don't think about how we exhale that air, that oxygen from our lungs. But it's a slow trickle, and it comes out of our mouths and our nose. And again, this is something that's just natural, because we feel at one with the water, and we don't have to think about it because we've been swimming so long. But it is a nice kind of steady exhale from your nose and your mouth, like a constant trickle. Again, to be fair, it depends on the distance that you're swimming.
Yeah.
If you're in a quick, powerful, 50, sometimes the best swimmers don't even breathe on a 50 meters, do they?
Yeah, no, that's true. When you sprinting, or let's say do a 50-meter or even 100, some people do, or they breathe just once. It is really like jumping in. But these people who sprint like that, or like professional swimmers, they're used to that, and they certainly have mastered the breathing already the other way around. But when people start off with swimming, you brought a really good point. It is they turn the head into the water. They stop breathing, they hold their breath, and then shortly before they come out to breathe, they would quickly breathe out like this, and then breathe in quickly. And then usually then in the end, there is always used air in your lungs, stays there, and then until they come to the end of the pool, and then they are out of breath because the lung is filled up with used air, and I need to get some air. I need to get some air, and they get into hyperventilation, or like a kind of hyperventilation, and that is usually what I see. And one thing people need to realize is that breathing out they can do steadily because they have more time. Even if you breathe every second time, like you turn your head and you go down, you have the one stroke, and then that you have enough time to breathe out through your exhale through your mouth and your nose, and your diaphragm will create a vacuum. When the lung shrinks together, it will create a vacuum that even if this is just a short time to breathe in or to inhale, when you turn your head to the side, it will have enough power to fill up your lung completely in milliseconds. It will have literally no time. And this is usually a misconception. People think as long as I breathe out, I need time to breathe in, and then obviously they stay out too long, their arm goes too late into the water, and then they have this movement of technique. I think that is usually what happens, or how it turns out to be.
And you know what, like everything that you're saying and what I've been saying as well, everything links back to everything that we say in every talk that we have. And that's basically be as natural as possible in the water, right? So we've already said that when we exhale, when we're swimming, we don't even think about how we breathe out, because it just happens. It trickles out. If we're swimming, in our training sessions or in our practice sessions, we are exhaling when our head's in the water. We're not thinking about it, but it's a constant exhale. And then when we breathe to the side, and we'll get onto that in a minute, we hardly move our head to the side, because we create that bow wave, that nice pocket that we can then breathe into, so you don't have to move your head at all. And people can look at that. You've got a couple of reels on that. We have as well. Lots of information to show really how minimal you have to move your head to the side because of that nice little air pocket that you can breathe into. But the thing about, and the hardest thing is for someone that's just starting out and just learning, is there's so many things to think about. So we see people when they're learning technique, they're very robotic because they know what they need to do, and they'll try and work really hard and think and focus on what they're doing. But as somebody that's been swimming all their life, you can see that they're not natural in the water. They're not feeling natural, and you can feel that they're really thinking, and you can see it as well. They're thinking so hard about what they're doing, and they've just got to persist at that. And eventually it will become second nature, and they'll feel more natural in the water. So that's the same for technique, and then it's exactly the same for breathing, and then they're interlinked, right? So if you're breathing and you're doing it incorrectly, you're either going to kind of go into some form of like oxygen debt because you're not regulating your breathing properly, or you're turning your head far too far to the side, and then when you do that, you start to snake through the water because your head moves, your body moves, and everything links back to everything that we say. Obviously.
No, I agree with you. And this is also matching up what we said before, or what in another call we said is, the one thing in swimming is the whole technique as such, the arm movement, getting into the water with your hands, do the high elbow catch, push the water back and rotate with some sort of the movement of your arm going back into it. And it's some sort of this catch up movement. And the faster you go, you rip this catch up apart, like the timing gets longer between the hand entry and the hand starting to do the stroke. And this is one system, and the other system is the breathing as such. But the swimming system is the one which is the main system, and the breathing just fits into it. And it's not that it is everything around the breathing. It's actually swimming and then fitting the breathing into the swimming, and therefore it's there. And so you need to see distance wise and everything.